Hey guys, welcome to another video. My name is Sanjit, and yesterday we spoke about the right of way. Now, we spoke about three different situations in which right of way comes into play. Today again, I would like to introduce you to three different situations again. So today we'll be talking about landing, takeoff, and emergency landing. So in these three situations, what and when the right of way is applied, we'll talk about it. Now, again, I would like to read the definition of right of way. The aircraft that has the right of way shall maintain its heading and speed. So, the aircraft that has the right of way has to basically do nothing. It has to maintain what it was actually maintaining, its heading and speed. Now, the aircraft that is giving way, I know I've already spoken about this, but the aircraft that is giving way is going to alter its heading and speed. Like we discussed, for example, if an aircraft is being overtaken by another aircraft, the aircraft that is giving way has to go around it, right? Has to go around it and has to go from the right side of it. So, in that particular case, if you notice, the aircraft that is overtaking the other aircraft is basically changing its heading and speed and all these things. So in that way it is giving way to the aircraft, right? And the aircraft that has the right of way is basically maintaining its heading and speed while the other aircraft is going around it. So again, coming back to today's three situations, we'll start with landing. So as we know, landing and takeoff both are critical phases of flight. So that in this particular case, you can always think that an aircraft that is landing or an aircraft that is in takeoff, both in its critical phases of flight, is basically having the right of way. So that that is something fundamental that you can remember. An aircraft that is landing or an aircraft that is taking off will always have the right of way. So let's read about it. An aircraft in flight or operating on ground or water shall give way to an aircraft landing or in the final stages of an approach to land. So, right? So, there are two aircrafts, and the aircraft that is landing will always have the right of way. It's as simple as that, right? Now, let's talk about takeoff. An aircraft taxiing on the maneuvering area of an aerodrome shall give way to an aircraft taking off or about to take off, right? So again, uh, I I know that you noticed the word maneuvering area. Do you know what that is? It is nothing but the taxiways and the runway. So for let's break it down. So for layman, now there's apron where generally the aircraft is parked, right? From there, the aircraft enters into a taxiway, which is basically from the way from where it is parked to the runway. So that small ways that you see, in which the aircraft goes from the apron to the runway, that's the taxiway. And finally, there's the runway. So the runway plus taxiway would be called as the maneuvering area, right? So what it's saying is that an aircraft which is on ground basically and is taxiing on the maneuvering area for the purpose of takeoff or after landing, for the purpose of moving to the apron area where it will be parked and the passengers will move out, and such an aircraft will always give way to the aircraft that is going to take off, right? So back to the fundamentals. An aircraft that is taking off or landing will always have the right of way, right? Now, we'll also talk about emergency landing. An aircraft that is aware that another is compelled to land shall give way to that aircraft. Okay, so an aircraft in emergency will always have the right of way over anything else, right? So it has also happened that an aircraft is on approach for landing and another aircraft behind it is in a state of emergency. So ATC has asked the aircraft to go around, basically not land and go around, so that the aircraft behind in emergency can come and land immediately, right? There's also when we talk about landing, there's also a paragraph that I want to read to you, When two or more heavier than air aircraft are approaching an aerodrome for the purpose of landing, aircraft at the higher level shall give way to the aircraft at the lower level. But the latter shall not take advantage of this rule to cut in front of another aircraft which is in the final stages of approach to land or to overtake that aircraft. Nevertheless, power driven heavier than air aircraft shall give way to gliders. Okay, so the last line we will deconstruct it first. Gliders are less maneuverable than a heavier than air aircraft. A heavier than air aircraft would be an airplane or a helicopter. So it will always be able to move quicker than a glider. So a glider will always have the right of way when compared to any heavier than air aircraft. So we'll keep that aside. Now, when there are two heavier than air aircraft, when let's say there's an airplane and a helicopter coming in for landing, which one would have the right of way? They're both coming in for landing. So they're saying that the aircraft which is at a lower altitude will have the right of way, right? So if one aircraft is here, one aircraft is here, both are coming in for landing, this one will have the right of way, right? So that is also taken care of. But it's saying that the lower will not take advantage of this rule and cut in front of another aircraft, or basically overtake another aircraft which is going in for landing. Okay, so it is as simple as that. So that is it for the right of way and the three conditions that we saw today. So aircraft that is landing or takeoff has the right of way, and also a landing aircraft, basically if there are two aircrafts, one higher, one lower, the aircraft that is lower has the right of way, but it shall not take advantage of this situation and overtake another aircraft which is going in for landing, right? And an aircraft in emergency will always have the right of way. And also finally, a heavier than air aircraft will always give way to a glider, or the glider has the right of way over a heavier than air aircraft, right? So that's it for today. Happy landings, guys. Cheers.